guys, YouTubers, if you disagree with anything I have to say, go ahead. Let me know how you feel. I very much enjoy it. It gives me an opportunity to clap back, because I'm not going to be chicken and be like the YouTuber chicken and go away,
NANI? お前はもう死んでいる。
I'm gonna respond.
What's my mother name?
What we do here is go back.
What's up, guys? KW175 back with another Pokemon Duel video, and I guess this is going to be the follow-up to my last video, the Showtime content cop, because Showtime did make a response video, and it was definitely pretty comical. He took a few subtle shots at most of us other Pokemon Duel YouTubers, definitely got off topic quite a bit, did quite a bit of backpedaling and changing around his words, basically making brand new statements, and it's pretty fun. So let's go ahead and just roll the first clip.
I'm not out there creating like Mickey Mouse content. Like, hey, look at me get 3 wins in a row. Or hey, did you like my Varisian cheese? No, I'm making content that actual takes time to prepare. And takes time that people could actually take value away after they watch it.
Whoa, shots fired. And he doesn't really say if he's talking about me, specifically Rico or Fodder. I'm imagining it's all three of us because all three of our names are on the thumbnail. So I guess he's just saying that, yeah, you guys aren't getting any value out of our videos. But let's see what else he says.
I thought I was making some safe space content. When I was talking about Carbonite and AI tickets, I was like, this is just like filler content,
Okay, so that I can definitely agree with, and it definitely lines up with the majority of his channel's content. It feels like a lot of filler content, which would make sense why there wasn't a lot of research done prior to doing the video, and it doesn't fully educate on what Carbonite actually does, because that was the original topic on how to use Carbonite effectively, and his video definitely failed to do that, and I felt maybe misled a lot of people watching it, which is why I definitely felt like I had to do a video on it and wanted to criticize his statements on Carbonite is only used for decreasing miss.
YouTubers, man, you guys looking at it the wrong way. 90% of the people that watch our content don't have a lot of Carbonite.
Okay, so then he kind of goes on to make it about, well, 90% of people don't have a lot of Carbonite. Well, maybe you guys think the Carbonite I have right here is a lot of Carbonite, but I guarantee you there's plenty of people that have more, and there's plenty of people that do have less. So, who's to say who has a lot of Carbonite or not? There's plenty of ways to get Carbonite in the game, and I don't think it really has anything to do with who has more, just how you use it.
So most of the people watching the video are not ranked 36, 3700. Most of the people who watch my video do not have 60 wins in the gym. The majority of people, the overwhelming majority of people who watch the video don't have 2500 Carbonite just sitting around.
Showtime must have took a poll in the meantime. 90% of people, the majority of people. I'd really like to see where these numbers are coming from, or if they're just assumptions. But again, not a whole lot of research done on his part, because I don't have 2500 Carbonite, and I'm pretty sure Rico doesn't. And if any of you guys have watched any of me or Rico's gym coverage, you'll know that we generally struggle to get 30 wins. Like, we barely make 30 wins. And yeah, I'm in 3600. I know most of us has made it into 3600. But again, what's the point of that statement? I don't see what that has to do with the debate on how to use Carbonite. He says to reduce miss only. I say it's used for much more than that.
We don't have Carbonite that we can invest in uncommon figures or common figures. We're investing Carbonite in the top EXs, and that's it.
Okay, so he's making it out to seem like, him and everybody else barely have any Carbonite to invest in the top EXs, let alone uncommons, commons, rares, things, just EXs only. And because I illustrated why some of those figures in those other rarities do benefit a lot from Carbonite. But let's see what else he says real quick.
We don't have time to play around and invest Carbonite in uncommon figures or common figures. Most players simply just can't do that. So my videos are geared towards the overwhelming majority. I want to say 90% of the people who watch my videos don't have a lot of Carbonite, you know? So you as a YouTuber, you may not have that problem as Carbonite as a non-renewable resource. You may be able to put Carbonite in uncommon figures and see how cool they can spin and stuff like that. But for the overwhelming majority of us, but most of us, we simply don't have that luxury.
Okay, so to me this is comical. He's definitely identifying himself now with the overwhelming majority, he says, the 90% of people that struggle to get Carbonite, that can barely obtain 500 Carbonite. So why would they waste it in anything but the top EXs? And to me, this is pretty funny, okay? And as you guys can see, I only have one EX that's level 10. You know, they're rares, and then I even have a common. But I guess the point is it's like Showtime's trying to appeal to the masses and trying to identify with everybody who doesn't get that much Carbonite, almost like he's free to play and talking about the majority of people being free to play. So let's roll this.
No ketchup, just sauce, raw sauce. Boom, yo, ah. The thing goes grrrr, pop, 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 pop. Skibby, keep pop, pop, and the poop, 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 boom.
So that's definitely far from a free-to-play account if you ask me. The way that he's trying to identify, like, you know, he struggles to get all this Carbonite, like obviously he spent a lot of money on the game, okay? And I do spend money on the game, not as much as some people, way more than others, you know? You know, everybody spends different amounts on the game. Some are strictly free-to-play like SHD, right? And the people who spend money are going to get an advantage and get more Carbonite. There's no denying that. On the daily login bonuses, you get more Carbonite. But there's plenty of ways in-game to get a lot of Carbonite if you're lucky. You can get 50 Carbonite from a single drop out of a black box, okay? And if you did spend $5 to get the enhancement booster, like, you can get a ton of Carbonite out of that if you're lucky. So, like, how are you really struggling for Carbonite, you know? If you're spending that kind of money on the game to get that many figures, like, you gotta be getting some pretty nice amounts of Carbonite. And again, I don't know what this has to do with the main topic of how to use Carbonite effectively. It doesn't matter how much Carbonite somebody has or how little Carbonite somebody has. How we use it and what it does to a figure's wheel is what the main topic is. And it shouldn't matter whether it's an EX, an uncommon, or a common. That shouldn't matter. Like Panjam, Hankio can throw him on a deck and just own people. You know, 3,800 plus. Like Panjam is a great runner, arguably better than some EXs. So you shouldn't single out these Pokemon just based off their rarity. Like, come on, man, they didn't choose their rarity. Like, you know, their rarity is what their rarity is. So you got to take a look at the wheel, and then you got to see what Carbonite can do for that wheel. You know, Cacnea in a gym, chain level 10 with a plus 20, like a 40 spinner, using an X speed on him. As you guys seen, he just destroyed my Blaziken. The opponent, 25 spins, landed 1,000 damage. Yes, that's a very rare situation, but he's a common figure. You know, a common figure that you can't reduce the miss on. So, like, that's the point. It shouldn't matter if it's an EX or if you can reduce the miss. There's plenty of figures that if you have a role for it and you want to use it competitively, Carbonite can definitely help it. So what's his point now?
So the point is, it's not that Lunala is a bad figure of Carbonite, it's just not a priority. Lunala is not a priority to put Carbonite in if you have Solgaleo, Blaziken, or Zapdos running on your team as your main in your main deck. I mean, as Pokemon Duel trainers, do we want a super strong figure and then a super missing figure? No. We want our figures as leveled up and as even as possible. You know, we don't want to put a super strong Lunala whose psychic hits 57% of the time with a 4 miss, and then leave a Solgaleo or Blaziken with a 12 miss. That doesn't even make sense, you know?
No, it definitely doesn't make sense, you know? And I couldn't agree more with what you're saying right here. And this is kind of where the backpedaling starts, you know? Now it's becoming more about, well, Lunala's not a bad figure to use Carbonite on, it's just not a priority, you know? Like, obviously, if you had Solgaleo, Blaziken, and Zapdos all on the same team, and they're all level 5, and Lunala's level 5, like, you wouldn't pick the Lunala over them, because you are able to get more value out of those figures by reducing the miss. The point is what if you aren't running those figures, okay? What if you don't want to run them? Or what if you already have them and they're already leveled up to level 9, level 10? You know, you were going through looking at all these figures like Gengar, like Lunala, saying that they don't benefit at all because they can't have their miss reduced, and you don't care what other attack lands. You know, the other attacks are normally just as effective. And that's where I couldn't disagree more. And I definitely wanted to shed some light on how some other figures could benefit a lot from Carbonite.
One of the reactions was, hey, Showtime, you did a video on Seismitoad. You know, you want to level up the bumpy vibrations, or you want to level up the dodge. Come on now, serious? Seismitoad? This wheel is inconsistent to start. There's no amount of Carbonite that's going to make this wheel consistent, you know? It has a 36 Earthquake, a 24 bumpy vibration, a 12 dodge, another 12 dodge, 12 miss slice. That's not going to get consistent no matter what I do.
Okay, so this is where he talks about Seismitoad, because I use Seismitoad as an example for being a figure that has a specific role. His only role in a deck is to poison. He's not there to knock out anything, he's there to defend. And, you know, you do attack with him to poison other figures, and you want him to land dodge. You don't want to land the Earthquake, and you don't want to land the bumpy vibration. You only want to level up the dodge. Okay, so my point was that if he is on your deck, and that's your main competitive deck, right? And you say you do have Blaziken or Solgaleo or whatever else on your deck, and you have those figures at level 9, level 10, and you're not putting any more Carmonite into them. Is Seismitoad a bad investment because you cannot reduce the miss? No, because take a look at level 4 and level 1 Seismitoad. It's a pretty big difference, right? So he talks about Seismitoad being inconsistent. Yeah, his wheel is inconsistent, right? But if we use that logic, like why would we use Carbonite on any figure? Because Carbonite from level 5 to level 10 is only giving it a 5.2% increase of landing a specific attack. So we're giving it that 5.2% chance to be more consistent, to land a specific attack more consistently. So with that logic, like why would we use Carbonite on anything, right? Like 1 point can mean the difference. How many times have you guys landed a 1 miss on like a level 4 Sceptile or Mew? Like that 1 point sometimes means the difference between you getting knocked out or you surviving. And with Seismitoad, you want to be able to survive as many times as possible. So that's why I got him to level 7, and I did drop him recently for Toxicroak, but I could easily throw him on any Phantom deck. But let's just go ahead and see what else he says.
Zapdos. You know, Zapdos, you know, is a cool figure. You know, like it's a really good gold attacker. You know, it can hop, it can soar. You know, it can paralyze. Zapdos can do a lot. You know, but the 12 miss slice is a lot.
And again, Showtime, man, I agree with you. It's funny how I agree with a lot more in this video than I did in your original how to use Carbonite effectively video. It's funny like that, but yeah, I agree, man. And Zapdos is one of the top tier meta figures who benefits the most from Carbonite. But how many of you guys think Zapdos's wheel is consistent? You know, at level 1, definitely very inconsistent, has a lot of miss. So, you know, we can take a look at my Zapdos. My Zapdos is level 9. I didn't quite get him to level 10 because I'm not currently using him. But this wheel is still inconsistent. So with that logic that you were saying, how inconsistent Seismitoad is, why? Just because Thunder Crash is bigger? It has an overall bigger wheel slice? Like, this wheel is still super inconsistent. How many people use Zapdos and get so mad because it can't land Thunder Crash, right? You know, and that's why he's at level 9. You know, Blaziken, Solgaleo, Zapdos, I'm not even using them currently. That's why you see a lot of these other figures are level 10 because, you know, they're figures I plan on using that I was using quite a bit. So that's why I put Carbonite into them. I don't have that many figures that I've used Carbonite into. But if we're using that logic that, well, this wheel is inconsistent, so no amount of Carbonite is going to make it consistent. Like, look at Blaziken. Blaziken is super inconsistent. How many times do you land Jet Kick when you want to land Cyclone Kick, you know? And, like, I don't know. That to me, that is just one of the worst points. Because it doesn't matter what figure you're putting Carbonite into, it does the same. From level 5 to level 10, you're getting an additional 5.2% chance to land that specific attack. So if we're running the figure and it's on our deck, Like, Carbonite is helping it, regardless how you look at it. It's not making the wheel bigger. You're taking 5.2% of the wheel from one section that you don't want to land, whether that's miss or an off attack, and you're putting it into the part of the wheel that you do want to land. So it has to make a figure more consistent. Like, there's absolutely no way that it can't. But if you guys take a look at the figures that I have used Carbonite in, there's only one EX that's level 10, right? All the other ones are rares and one common. Then we have Mimikyu, which is a rare. Then of course we do have Solgaleo, Blaziken, and Zapdos because I have used them at one point and they do benefit the most from Carbonite. But I'm not even currently using them. So how much is that Carbonite actually helping me right now? It's not helping me at all because I'm not using them, right? I'm not being competitive with them. I'm not using them. But you guys know that I love my Phantom deck, so that's why Toxicroak, I got him to level 10. I'm trying to replace Seismitoad with him, but we're going to see how that goes. Sableye, Magneton, like, you know, those are the figures that I'm using, and they're rares, and you cannot reduce miss on them. You know, Pancham is an uncommon. He is arguably better than some EXs. You know, and we don't have a lot of choices for 3MP. And look at this Carbonite, okay? Maybe it's considered a lot, but that 999 Carbonite, I don't even count that. That's kind of like my savings account, you know, and I've talked about this before for people to save Carbonite. That 161 is the pile that, you know, that I spend out of. I may, you know, dip into my savings a little bit, but every banner, maybe every 2 banners, there's usually a Pokemon that comes out that's pretty meta breaking. And, you know, it's going to be really good. So if we get that figure and Carbonite's a good choice, whether we're able to reduce miss on it or not, you know, for me, Toxicroak is a really good candidate for Carbonite because it does have a double spin to get that 140. And it leaves poison pretty consistently as well, whether it gets knocked out on the poison jab or you land its 3-star purple. You know, Aron. I could see Aron being used in League when, you know, Steel Energy and the Metal Sphere, like maybe Steel is going to become really meta. Like you could easily throw him in on a deck. In Gym, he's really good. You know, Kahenkyo throws Pancham on his deck and just destroys, man. That little panda, he only needs to spin twice and he survives and he can sometimes pop off. So that's been kind of the main point, guys. You know, it doesn't have to be an EX. You don't have to be able to reduce miss. Do some figures benefit more like Solgaleo, Blaziken, Zapdos? Yes. If you've already got them leveled up, then, you know, you're just not going to ever spend your Carbonite? Like, no. Like, you want to power up your figures evenly. Even Showtime said that earlier. Like, you know, we don't want just one super strong figure and then the rest, like, nothing, right? So we do want to make educated decisions and pick our priority on who we want to start on next. But doesn't mean because it's not an EX or because it has 0 miss or, you know, 4 miss and you can't reduce miss that we shouldn't put Carbonite into it. And that's been the whole point. That was the whole debate, guys. But this is definitely going to be my last response on this topic on Carbonite because frankly, I'm kind of tired of talking about it. So hopefully you guys, you know, got my point. I got my point across. I tried to be as clear as I could. But yeah, I think that's going to wrap up this video. So definitely leave a like if you guys enjoyed this video. Definitely let me know in the comments below your thoughts and opinions. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss my next video. Follow me on Twitter if you guys haven't already. And definitely let me know what you guys think in the comments. And until the next one, later guys.
Yo, God, the thing goes. You don't know, big shock. Yo, yeah.